One last time. Ah, fuck! That went through my toe. I think I need to go to the ER. What's going on, mutants? This is Logan Myerz here from Cinephellas.com to talk about the man, the myth, the legend, James Logan Howlett. And I guess I kind of like him. I'm wearing a little Wolverine t-shirt here. You know, I'm really stoked about this movie. He is my favorite superhero in the Marvel Universe. You know, Hugh Jackman's been playing this character now for 17 years. That's insane. That's a long time to play a superhero, you know, and stay in tip-top shape for this character. And he's done a fucking amazing job in this role. Logan is directed by James Mangold. He directed The Wolverine, which was probably one of the better films of the Wolverine series, X-Men series, the one that takes place in Japan. So he's back to direct this, and they went about this film in a whole completely different way. You know, with the success of Deadpool, the rated R, they're getting grittier with these films, especially Logan. It's a darker storyline that plays alongside Old Man Logan comics. But, you know, it's a grittier, darker drama in a way. The film picks up in 2029 ahead of the X-Men timeline here. And it's just really him by himself. He's kind of a loner. He's down. He's an alcoholic. He's depressed. He's aging. He's not healing fast enough. He's, you know, on his last leg, basically, in this film. And you see Logan older and just beat up. And he looks like he's been through about 1 million fights. And there's not much left to him. There's no hope for him. He doesn't give a fuck about anything. He's really angry at life and where everything is currently in the movie. From the get-go of the film, I meant gore and just action start from the get-go, and it was brutal. I mean, it was so gory. You see limbs flying and blood everywhere, and Wolverine, Logan, using his claws and goes up through a person's skull right in the first few minutes of the film. And, you know, that was an excellent way to start this movie, to understand the overall tone. And it's kind of funny because it's complete opposite of every other film they've done with this character. He's living with Professor X. They're all set up in this old, abandoned, looks like warehouse. And it's a completely different story than the other X-Men films. Logan is living with Professor X, taking care of Professor X. They're set up in this old abandoned factory, warehouse sort of thing out in the middle of the desert of Texas. And, you know, Logan is a limo driver trying to make money, and he's making drug deals to get Professor X some pills so he stops having all these seizures. And you see Professor X, you know, Sir Patrick Stewart, you know, knocks this role out of the park in all the films especially, but this one was different. You know, you see Patrick Stewart dropping the F-bomb at Logan and just going off in his little tirade when he's like in the wheelchair talking about Taco Bell. He's just completely out of his mind. It's in some form dementia. And when Professor X has these seizures, it just erupts. And you see Logan breaking his way through and stopping this and stopping Professor X from the seizure he's having. So Logan is a story, you know, of this relationship that we've seen for, you know, 17 years between Professor X and Logan, and how Professor X found him as a cage fighter in the early film, and to where the relationship is now, and Logan taking care of him and making sure he doesn't die. But you get a feeling early on in the film that, you know, is this the last of these characters? Are they going to die? And Logan comes across the little girl and her mother, and they're trying to get to Logan and have him help them out. People are after the daughter, the young girl, and the mother. And you know, Logan doesn't give a shit about anybody but himself, and he's like, fuck off, I don't want to help you. And Logan's path crosses with these people again, and basically has to take this young girl, Laura, in, which we find out is X-23 later in the film. And Laura, X-23, is very similar to old Logan, and that similarity is one word: adamantium. Adamantium? Say that 3 times. And this group of villains or bad guys, one being Donald Pierce, that's played by Boyd Holbrook, a great villain in this movie. He had that little southern twang, and he had a like robotic hand like Terminator. And he was really convincing in this role and kind of sinister in some aspects. And these villains, Donald Pierce and his group of cronies, are after X-23, and they show up at Logan's place, and she's hiding out there, and the guys go in to get her. And it was probably one of the best scenes in the movie, and you understand how fierce this little girl is, and she can hold her own. She's fucking badass. But they go in to get her, and she comes out walking towards Donald Pierce and throws a severed head at him, and I'm like, holy fuck, she can kick some ass. Like, in all the action sequences from when they introduce her character to the very end, she doesn't need Logan really in the way of fighting. And this sets up the rest of the film. They're on a road trip to get this young girl to North Dakota, which is where this place called Eden is, where all of her mutant friends from this hospital are going to meet up and then go to Canada. So the second act of the film is like a road trip film, but it really builds, this relationship between Logan and X-23. And, at first they hate each other, and he's all angry at life. And but that changes throughout the second act. You see their relationship develop with the hands of Professor X kind of guiding Logan in the right direction as to, like, hey, this is your daughter. You need to be the parent here and take care of her. And throughout the rest of the film, you see Logan and X-23 relationship really develop, and they care for each other. And then also you have Logan that seems like he's slowly dying. His healing powers aren't working as fast. He's getting shot, but it takes forever to actually heal. He's worn down. He's tired. He can't stop drinking. So, there's only one way to look at this character, where he's going to end up. But the final battle scene of the film up until the very ending was excellent. Logan is a dark Western type of drama. A lot of throwbacks to, Westerns, 50s and 60s. And actually, one of the scenes in the film, they're watching an old Western movie. But you can kind of get that feel, the grittiness of it, and the darker aspects of, the overall theme of this movie. And the whole movie has that element to it. And at the end of the film, it's a badass battle scene, and you get to see Hugh Jackman go full-blown fucking Wolverine on all these assholes, and they're just fucking chopping off limbs, and there's blood splattering everywhere, and, he's still got it. He's weak, but he can still fucking kick some ass and kill awesome people, and X-23 can hold their own as well. So they're a great tag team in this ending of the movie. And as a huge X-Men and Wolverine fan, this was something perfect. This is a film that people are going to watch years from now and say, this is what we did wrong. We should have made a film like this that took a different approach of telling a story of a superhero. James Mangold, as the director, he really knocked this one out of the park. And I'm hoping Logan, wins some awards come Oscar season, because if there's any superhero movie that deserves an Oscar nod is Logan. It's Hugh Jackman's one last time in this character. I meant the writing of the script, the overall cinematography, the editing, the acting of all the characters in this movie. They really brought something special, and this is just one of the probably the best X-Men movie in my opinion, just because it's so different and they took a different approach. But overall, I love the shit out of Logan. It's one of my favorite films of the year, and probably will be for the years to come. I'm sad to see Hugh Jackman go. Maybe he'll come back for, an appearance in Deadpool. Maybe we'll see him together. I'm hoping so, but nobody really knows at this point. So if this is his last time as Wolverine, thank you, Mr. Hugh Jackman. And if you're all true fans like myself and Cinephellas of X-Men and Wolverine, pay attention. There's a ton of Easter eggs in this film, as you could imagine. So just pay attention and you'll see a few. And if you remember back to old films, they kind of, and more importantly, the Wolverine, they foreshadow Logan's demise and what will happen to him. And they kind of did that in a really good way. And that's what I liked about this movie. But the very ending of the movie, I won't say what happens, but it's a good way to go out. And all I'll say is, it's the X. So I am giving Logan a 5 out of 5 Wolverine hair pieces. I want to thank all of our followers for, checking us out, watching our reviews, keeping up with us for all movie, TV news, and reviews. And don't forget to hit subscribe right below. Let us know what you thought about Logan. Did you like it? Did you hate it? Until next time, this is Logan signing out from Cinephellas. Cheers!